In spite of packing some sportiness in them, the 160cc naked motorcycles of our country can still be considered as commuters. If you want performance, then it's the 200cc segment where things really get going. Oh well, that's a story for another time. But a perfect case in point is the TVS Apache RTR 200 4V, a perfect, no-nonsense performance motorcycle that TVS races in its various championships, and it truly epitomizes the saying, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. And TVS brings whatever it has learned on the track onto the road by using the RTR 200 as its medium. And in late 2020, it also celebrated 4 million sales of the Apache series, which it commemorated with the launch of the updated version of the RTR 200 4V, which we have right here. So before we delve into what all are the updates and how much of a difference they have made to the bike, make sure you've subscribed to ZigWheels and also part of our notification squad. Done that already? Let's get cracking. There are 5 updates to the RTR 200. 6 if you consider this new paint scheme which it borrows from the 1 Make series bike. The main talking point though is this button right here, the riding modes button. And yes, TVS providing riding modes without offering ride-by-wire is a bit surprising. But what this button actually does is it allows you to toggle through 2 different engine maps and 3 different levels of ABS intervention that are packaged in 3 predetermined modes: rain, urban and sport. The first 2 modes have mild engine mannerisms with decreasing level of ABS intervention. But with sport, the engine is fully unleashed to deliver 20.82 PS. Yes, I know. Why do you need a softer engine map for just 20 odd PS? But TVS is of the thinking that with rain or urban mode, it is going to be the most sensible and practical choice for those who are looking to commute. But you don't really buy an Apache to commute, do you? Actually, let me rephrase that. You don't buy this Apache to only commute. You buy it to have some fun. Despite the RTR 200 already being BS6 compliant, TVS engineers strive to get back whatever performance the motor lost due to the BS6 emission norms. So, it makes more power and torque than before. But crucially, this engine is now more powerful than the BS4 bike. Also, it has become 1 kilo lighter, which begs the question, how much faster is it? This new Apache 200 is 1 second quicker than the BS4 version of the bike, and more importantly, 1.7 seconds quicker than the previous BS6 version. Now all of this is possible thanks to the new engine map, which lends it stronger bottom end performance. The power delivery is very linear, with chunk of the drive present between 5 and 8,000 RPM. There is a negligible drop in 3rd gear roll-on acceleration, but as you can see, the flatter torque curve helps it surge ahead in the 4th gear roll-ons. And it has become a lot smoother now. The fueling is more precise, the throttle response is crisp, the vibrations are better damped, and more so, you have a racy rumble accompanying you on your ride. But you cannot be too exuberant, as the motor eventually shows its gruffness post 8,500 RPM. So while it will reach a speedo indicated 120 kmph, the motor sounds a bit stressed from 90 kmph onwards. So on the highway, you will have to curb your spirit and sit at its sweet spot of 85 to 90 kmph, which will be beneficial for extracting fantastic fuel efficiency, almost 50 kilometers to the liter in our test. Another important update is this new Showa sourced preload-adjustable front fork. it is the most affordable bike in the country to get any sort of adjustment for the front suspension straight from the factory. And when you consider that even big bikes like the new KTM 890 Duke don't offer an adjustable front fork, one must really commend TVS to offer this feature. Now there are no adjustment tabs here or clicks to go about setting this fork. The only way to do it is using a flathead screwdriver to turn these bits on both legs to match the notches on them. Now we have a separate video coming up on ZigWheels explaining why and how to go about setting up your front fork. So make sure you're notified for when that video drops. But what we found out is that the second notch from softest turned out to be the best position for a wholesome riding experience. What it does is that it allows the suspension to remain in its optimum working range to soak up harsh bumps without really compromising on the Apache's great handling reputation. Now this next update is something that TVS isn't mentioning in its brochure or stating it outright, but it is in fact as important as the suspension itself. Yep, these brakes. Now stopping distances have reduced dramatically. In fact, from 80 kmph, this new RTR 200 manages to stop 2 meters sooner than the Apache RR 310 BS6. And you got to consider that that bike has a larger front rotor, radial caliper and some grippy tires. And it's not only the improved braking distances that managed to impress us about the brakes here. It's also something that we've been crying out loud since the inception of this bike. The RTR 200 finally gets some good feel and feedback at the levers, along with good braking progression. ABS calibration in sport mode is consistent and not very aggressive, something that experienced riders will appreciate highly, and it shouldn't scare novice riders either. Last but not least, the RTR also gets span adjustable clutch and brake levers, which are again a segment first and extremely beneficial in setting up the bike to the rider's needs. Ultimately, the big question remains, what is the damage to your wallet for these extra 6 updates? And the answer is not that much, because you're just paying rupees 3,000 more than the previous BS6 edition of this bike. And that is the best bit about this new RTR 200, that you're getting big bike levels of adjustability at just rupees 1.3 lakh ex showroom. It still is a very good commuter, but that doesn't change the fact that it is more focused than ever before. The high standards that it has been setting in this segment have been amplified to another level, making it extremely rewarding for buyers, turning them into instant champions. So champions, do let us know what you think about the RTR 200. And if you would like us to do a comparison video, mention the contenders and what you would like to see in that video. And lastly, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching.